All right, welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Benchute. I want to talk to you today about why taking a vacation will actually scale your agency if you do it properly. So I just got back from 7 days off and had major breakthroughs and big ideas for our agency. And these major breakthroughs and big ideas came from me literally doing nothing. And what's weird is that these major breakthroughs and big ideas did not come when I was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, relentlessly for the last 4 months. They didn't come. And these big ideas came from when I was doing absolutely nothing in a totally different place and environment. And so I'm going to explain why that happens and why that is. So first of all, I want to talk to you about this thing called company offsites, which you're probably familiar with. Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, pretty much any major company you can think of in the world that's dominated their category and their niche. They do these things called company offsites where once every quarter, at the end of every year, the leadership team, the executives will go and leave the office. They will go to a completely different remote location where they will discuss the future and they will discuss the next biggest goals for Q1, for Q2, for 2020, for the next 10 years. They will leave the office and leave their environment and go somewhere totally different to discuss these extremely important things, such as what are our goals for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, what's our goals for 2020, what's our goals for 2025, 2030, etc. Our culture, let's talk about our core values. All these important things are done outside of the office. Now, why is that? It's because when you change your environment, you're no longer in the system. So it's an interesting theory thing to consider. You know, when people say like, oh, you got to think outside of the box. Well, to think outside of the box, you just have to get out of the box. And getting out of the box literally means leaving the office, leaving your city, or going to some remote location where you pretty much never go that is completely unique and different, and doing things that are completely different than what you normally do. And so when you're working 12 hours a day in your office, in your agency, or wherever you work, in your house, I work in my house, and you're doing that, you're in the system, and you can't really objectively look down on it and identify all the inefficiencies and biggest areas for improvement. But when you're on vacation or you're specifically doing a company offsite, I consider these two things somewhat relative. You are out of the system and your brain just starts firing in different ways. So let me give you a practical example of this. When I am on vacation, what weirdly happens is that when you go from working relentlessly for like 3-4 months straight and not taking more than 1 day off, because I only take Sundays off, and when you just stop working completely for 7 days in a totally different environment, what happens is your mind starts to think of things in your company. You can't just fully shut off your brain. You know, a lot of people say, oh yeah, just take a vacation and shut down your mind and just recharge. That is the main reason why I'm taking a vacation, is to recharge my brain. But there's this like crazy other effect that happens, which is I'll just be doing stuff like going surfing, or I'll be doing like a tour on some island. This is where we just got back from an island. And things will just start popping in my head, like things like culture, like core values, mission, principles. Like we need to figure these things out. And they'll just keep popping into my head relentlessly. Like I'll be surfing, literally paddling to like catch a wave, and then my brain will just be like, what are our core values in the company? Why the fuck don't we have any core values? Like we need to like get these things dialed in, make sure everybody's aligned, and we need to do this right now. And it's weird because I'll just be surfing, that'll pop into my head. And these are usually the most important things that you need to focus on, because when you're doing absolutely nothing, they're just like popping into your brain and coming into your brain. And it was really interesting to see that. So to get the benefit of having major breakthroughs, major big ideas when you're on vacation, you need to become an observer of your mind and really just be aware of these random thoughts that are popping into your head, because if you're not aware of them, you won't catch them. But if you are aware of them, you know, you'll start having these major breakthroughs. For example, in my case, when I went to Bocas, which is this island nearby Panama, the thing that kept popping into my mind, the thing that was like giving me the big idea was alignment. And our company needs way more alignment. And to get more alignment, we need to basically build an operating system and a management / framework system. So I'll explain what this looks like. And alignment is basically, you hear Peter Drucker, Good to Great, Jim Collins, you talk about people how if we get the boat rowing, if everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction, you'll just crush your competition. And an average team where everyone is rowing in the same direction will outperform an all-star team where everybody's rowing in different directions. So this is what our agency currently looks like in my mind, and I learned this when I was on vacation and slightly beforehand as well, is everybody in our agency is going in different directions, and there's not a whole lot of alignment, okay? So this would be like low alignment. I think it's 2 L's. And this would be like high alignment, and this is the ideal scenario where everybody in the company is going the same direction. So each one of these arrows, let's just say it represents a person, and the circle represents the entity, the corporation, the company, right? And this is where our agency currently is we are not very aligned on the major problems that need to be addressed, and we don't really have major goals for each person, major projects that each person needs to be working on. And this has emerged out of hiring more people because for a long time we were just very small, and it's easy to manage 1 or 2 people or just yourself, But when you start to have like more people, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this can happen very quickly, and when this happens, it kills productivity and it just kills any form of progress, because since we're all going in different directions, like this causes communication issues and problems, because like you're working on this and you thought this person was working on that, but they're working on something else, and then you're having communication problems because of this communication problem. And the opposite of this is just high alignment, which is where everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction. So what kept on popping into my head while I was on vacation was alignment. And we need to figure out how to get everybody rowing in the same direction in an easy, super simple way. And this led me to reading a lot of different books on management and operating systems and frameworks and different things. But the major breakthrough / big idea was that I need to focus on alignment for the agency. And this arose out of literally just doing absolutely nothing. But when I was working relentlessly in my office, this idea didn't really pop into my head. It actually came a few days before vacation. I was like, I need to work on I need to think of some system for alignment. But I didn't realize how severe the issue was until I was just like on vacation and constantly trying to think, what is my team working on? What is everyone working on? Where are we working towards? What's our goals for Q4? What's our goals for 2020? And so, yeah, we didn't have a structure for this. So anyways, the major breakthrough idea was that we need better alignment. We're going to build an operating system for the agency so that each person has specific OKRs. OKRs are objectives and key results. I highly recommend reading this book called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. And he was the guy who basically introduced OKRs to Google when Google was in their startup phases in the garage, or right after they kind of left the garage and they got an office. And we're going to use OKRs and a mix of other things to be able to get high alignment and make sure everybody's rowing in the same direction. So the other thing is just really to get this breakthrough, you need to become an observer of your mind. We discussed that. And innovation versus productivity, part of the reason why these big ideas or innovation will come through doing nothing is because innovation comes when you're not trying to be productive, right? When you're trying to be productive, you are in a routine. When you're in a routine, it kills innovation, right? Like the opposite of spontaneity is like efficiency and routine, right? But spontaneity and doing lots of different things in different areas and reading different things and exposing your mind to different things is what breeds innovation, right? So when you're trying to be productive and you're trying to hire someone or build a website or build a new funnel, create slides for a webinar, improve your auditing process, improve this process or that process, or you're doing deliverables. God forbid you're the owner of an agency and you're doing deliverables and you're doing client calls. Again, it depends on your size, but if you're doing over $20,000 a month, even $15,000 a month, and you're doing deliverables, that is another thing you need to completely get rid of and outsource or automate. But when you're doing these things, which are essentially classified as productive, there is very minimal innovation that will happen because, again, the opposite of innovation is productivity and efficiency. So when you're on vacation and you're doing nothing, and I like to just read and do stuff like tours or whatever. I like surfing, like quadding, or just doing stuff, not really just like sitting on the beach and doing nothing. If I am sitting on the beach, I'll like to read. But when I'm on vacation, I like to read and I like to do stuff. And really, when I'm doing these things, I'm reading different books. I'm in a totally different environment. I'm completely out of routine. I'm not waking up at 7:30 a.m. I'm not meditating first thing in the morning, eating my breakfast. Completely different routine. Everything's different. And so when you do these different things, there's different neurons that are firing in your brain and different thought patterns begin to emerge. And you'll really only see the benefit of it after like a couple days to a few days. So we took 7 days off, and really that's why you will get innovation and big ideas and breakthroughs if you take a vacation. But it won't happen if you go to Mexico and go to an all-inclusive resort and drink alcohol relentlessly because it's free and just get drunk and party. That will give you no ideas, no major breakthroughs, nothing. So I don't drink personally, I don't party personally ever. And so if you're in that mindset when you're going on vacation to really just relax, eat healthy and get out of routine and enjoy yourself and read different books, then you'll see some benefits out of it. But if you're going to party, yeah, you're probably just gonna kill your agency even more, and that is not gonna help you scale your agency at all. So everything is within context. Anyways, this is pretty much the main thing that I wanted to talk about. If you found this valuable, let me know. I feel like I kind of rambled on here for a bit, but nonetheless, I found this really valuable and important. And one of the things that I took action on and I did is during this vacation, I booked our agency's first company offsite on that island. We're going back there in 2 weeks with my team to discuss our plan for 2020 and for 2025, 2030, our 1-year goal, quarterly goals, our operating system that we're gonna use, our 5-year, 10-year goals, and pretty much just map out the entire vision, mission, principles, framework, core values, all of the important stuff that we need to do to get more alignment. Because without this, you're screwed and you're never gonna be able to take your company to the next level. So anyways, with that being said, I hope you found this video valuable. And feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, or if you have a question or concern about anything else, let me know. And I'll see you next Monday. Hit that subscribe button below. Post a video once every week on Mondays. Ciao.